I know I'm a little bit late. I don't want to hear anything. All right, so this topic is something I don't really talk about that often, but I think it's worth talking about. How are you all doing tonight? I am doing good. I hope you all are enjoying your spooky season. It is almost the end of it. Has anyone seen my chart? All right, you getting blocked. Is that a mustache? All right, you getting blocked. Let me just go ahead and let's get Suka up out of here. Let's get Suka right on up out of here. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, that'll do. As soon as he gets back, he's gonna get out again. Change your profile picture, and if you don't, you're gonna continue to get this. You're gonna continue to get all of this. You will get it all. I can do this all day, Suka. I really can. Like I have energy. How are you all doing today? I hope you guys are doing just fine. Don't mind whatever's happening with Suka. He's just being a Suka, so he's just, we'll deal with it. What do you mean, no, my brother? You want to join him? You can join him. All right. Listen, I am trying to have a good day with you guys. And you guys are just, just this close to just messing it up before it even gets started. Oh, okay. So the thing I want to talk to you guys about today is this: cheating. Is cheating the moral solution against divorce? Because we see divorce rates are climbing, right? Divorce rates have not gone down. They continue to climb. It's not getting any better. It's bad. Is cheating, now this isn't my opinion, mind you, but I want to ask you guys the question: is it a moral solution against divorce? Now, the reason I ask you this is because I'm going to share with you a couple of stories, okay? I pulled up a couple of stories that I wanted to share with you all from the interwebs of men and women, but mostly men, talking about the modern marriage climate today and why divorce is so prevalent and why women aren't worth their salt anymore. And women feel the same about men, but women are saying that men just don't do it for them anymore. That women refuse to allow men to be men of the past, but at the same time, they don't want a man that acts like a woman. So what are they looking for? It's 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 kind of a confusing issue because you have two people who are confused about what's going on. We have women who don't want to act like women, but they don't want men to act like men. And then you have men who are looking for women to act like women, but they are getting a whole different type of woman. Because you guys already know women aren't what they used to be. I want to share something with you guys before we get into it. In my country, in my culture, in my upbringing, and what I'm used to. What I'm used to is this: when a woman gets married, her father gives her to her husband. The only reason that a father would ever come and pick up his daughter from that husband's house is for three reasons. And the three reasons are this: if he's beating her, if he is cheating on her, or if he kicked her out the house. Those are the only three reasons that a father would be coming to that house. But if those three things did not happen, if a woman leaves her house, her father picks her up and takes her back to her husband. If a daughter, a wife, comes back to her father's home while she's married, and those three things have not happened, the father closes the door and tells her to go back home. And that is Do you guys understand the importance of that? I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, if she's coming to her father, then the father should let her in and let her stay. And well, no, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. There needs to be the family backing up the husband. The family should be backing up the husband, because now you're in a marriage. Now you're in a different situation. Now it's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to grow up. And yes, Yakub, go home and make him a sandwich. Go back home. Unless those three things have happened, there is no reason for you to be at your father's house. You don't need to be at that man's house. You need to be back with your husband. And and see, this is what I'm used to in our culture. In our culture, even though things are kind of changing now, but this is how it should be. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys is this: when it comes to um, when it comes to women and the difference in women that we have today, the quality of women is not what it used to be. And the reason I say that is not because I'm so old and I know, but it's because I talk to the elders in my family. And just last week, I was having a conversation because we had a bit of a family issue. Not in my family, not in my house, but like, in my extended family. But we had an extended family issue that brought this topic up, not so much cheating, but the women, how women are different. Because even in our culture, women aren't exactly how they used to be, you know, 2 generations ago. Let's just say that. They aren't what they used to be. And it's like, I want to bring it up like this. How can I bring it? We have rules. We have established rules in our culture. And our rules are not meant to be broken or bent or anything. But you see today where the culture is kind of getting softer. Men have brought up, even in my culture, why are we allowing things that we would have never allowed before? Things like you're allowing your woman to go out without permission. You're allowing her to leave the house without permission. You're allowing her to go out without a chaperone or without somebody with her. Don't let her go out alone. Don't let her go out without permission. And certain things are a little bit more slack. You know what I mean? And other things is like, now there's even rules now where a mother-in-law can't yell at their daughter-in-law anymore, but they're supposed to be nicer and all this stuff. Because back past generations, if you were the daughter-in-law, you just had to deal. You have to deal with your mother-in-law no matter what. But now things are changing. Things are like, oh, we don't allow people to talk to the daughter-in-law like that anymore. No, you cannot train your daughter-in-law the way you want to anymore. You can't do that. She's a person now. She's a person now with rights and feelings. No, we had no feelings or rights, but now things are changing. I believe that this lackadaisical attitude is going to be the death of many cultures. And I pray that we do not fall into this. But I want to share these stories with you guys. So, in my culture, woman, when she gets married, she's a virgin. When she's married, as you guys know, sheets are laid down by the in-laws. The sheets are white, crisp, and everything. I think I've gone through this with you guys before. It is expected that those sheets be stained with the blood of a virgin. And if they are not, there's a problem. But I'm starting to freeze, guys.
Yeah, it's skipping just like a roboting just a little bit. But I mean, we still hear everything you're saying, but it's like a little bit.
Of course, as soon as I get into the real stuff, It's like, oh, internet starts messing up. Is it still messing up?
Not at the moment.
Okay, anytime it does, pause it for me so then I can know that maybe I need to start over again or what have you. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know. All right, but anyway, the sheets are meant to be stained with the blood of a virgin. We and there's a reason why this. A lot of people are like, well, why does it have to be a virgin? Why does it have to be? The reason why the rules were like this is because we understood women. We understood that you ran a higher risk of a woman not being not being you guys understand, the less partners a woman has, the more likely she is to not want or need to try other people. I don't know how to explain it any better to you guys, but we understood. Is it doing it again?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I'll
Oh,
do is I'll come back. Can you stay here and keep
sure.
talking about virgin? The topic is virgins, so talk about the virgin.
I could try. It's
No,
not really my area of
you will.
expertise.
You will talk about the virgins. Talk about them. I'll be back.
Yeah. I think what she was trying to say was that you can't miss what you've never had, right? So the more the more likely, if she's a virgin, the less likely it is that she's going to seek out other, men on account of, she has no basis for comparison, right? And also, there's that whole thing about pair bonding and all that. Although I don't know how much stock in that I put personally, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know what she wants to talk about virgins. I don't know anything about virgins. Virgins aren't really my thing, so yeah, it's it is what it is. Too bad there's so few virgins. That is, I don't know how much of that is perception and how much of that is actual, nonsense. Um, Lovecraft this stream. I don't think she would appreciate me doing that very much, aside from the imagery. So, um, but yeah, I think it's mostly you can't miss what you've never had. If you only had one, dude, and I mean, as an example, I knew a guy years ago who had a wife, and this wife he basically plucked out of a small town, basically saved her from her shitty little existence, and she cleaved to him to an almost obsessive degree because not only did he save her from what she perceived as awful stuff, uh, she didn't know anything else, right? Ever. And as it turns out, he was kind of a piece of crap himself, but she didn't know any better because she'd never been with anybody else, so she stuck with him. Yeah. And it's kind of a poor example because like that didn't work out in the long run, but yeah, that's I think essentially what it is she was never exposed to other, for lack of a better term, men. So she didn't have a basis for comparison. If that makes sense.
It does. And let me know if I'm sounding robotic.
So far, not so much.
Uh, I don't like the way you say that. I don't
What?
like it.
Because the last time I jumped off the panel, it started up again the second I was gone. So.
Oh, well, it kind of is overheating. It could be that. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me just find something to put under it so that I can have circulation.
Okay.
Okay, so you can continue on.
I can continue on with the story that I just finished. Okay. I guess. So, anywho, how y'all doing? I don't know. The whole, again, out of my depth here. I've never been with a virgin. It's never been a thing for me. I've always felt a little weird about taking somebody's virginity, so I've been kind of avoided that. That whole scenario. Although to be fair, my ex-wife was a little more promiscuous than I had first knew about, so that probably contributed, at least in part, to our divorce. But it was a whole thing. Anyway, So yeah, I don't know where you want me to go with this, America. Because like I don't really know that much about virgins aside from the fact that they used to
You're
feed
good
them to
enough.
dragons and volcanoes and shit.
It's good enough.
Okay.
Good enough. Good enough. Alrighty then. And it's kind of sad that even Samael, like if I ask any other man who's in my culture to talk about this topic, believe it or not, they would be able to go on for probably an hour about this topic, about the topic of virginity and culture and family structure and the rules and values and all this. They will be able to go on about this for about an hour because it's something that we grew up with and it's not awkward and it's not every man experiences it. I think that's another thing, guys. Every man in my culture experiences a virgin because every man is going to get married to a virgin. So every man knows what it's like to have a woman who doesn't have experience, or and he understands like what the difference is between a woman, like and I believe that that is something that is missing in today's world. But anyway, the main point about this is cheating is ever prevalent. And I want to share with you guys a couple of horror stories. And I want to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up right here. Hold on. So I found a few just from looking on the interwebs. And I was like, what in the heck is going on in the world? Okay. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Here it is. This is an infidelity thing. Okay. So I found this story. And this story was about a gentleman, right? He's in the UK. He's married or was married. He might still be married, actually. Yeah, but they're originally from Poland. So this is a married couple originally from Poland, and they're living in the UK. He's 33, she's 37. They were together for over 15 years and married for 8. They have one kid together, and everything began, I guess, when they decided to move from Poland to UK. And you guys understand what happens when you take women from countries that are a little bit more conservative and take them to Western or more liberal nations. You understand? Women change. Women lose their minds, especially when you have who are used to certain life and coming to the Western world and seeing all the rights that they're given and all this stuff. So here we go. They wanted to have a better life there. And he was hoping that his wife would join him and build a new family together. And she agreed. Of course, she agreed because who wouldn't want to leave, Poland and go to the UK? But anyway, the husband says everything was very difficult for them at the beginning, getting a new job, not knowing the language, and so on and so forth. That's what we go through too, us as non-Americans. Now, he said it was hard enough to buy a car, rent a house, blah, blah, blah. A couple of months in, though, they were good, happy together, and were planning to have children. One day he was getting up for work and he noticed a notification on his wife's phone. The notification said, "Hi, honey." Now, he's never looked at his wife's phone, he said, because he respected her privacy. But this is the first time, and he discovered a full-on conversation between her and some guy from her last job in Poland. So even before they moved to UK, she was already being a slut. And they said it wasn't looking very bad, but it was definitely a red flag. He was asking, what is she wearing? What's under her clothes and so on and so forth. She told him to don't text her that early because her husband was still home. She said, don't text me too early because my husband is still home. There was a lot of, hi, honeys, how are yous? I told her I know everything and to come clean. And what did she do? Denied. She denied, delayed, and defended everything, as women do. Oh, no, it's not true. I don't know what you're talking about. He's just a friend. I didn't believe her, he said. And he was asking about that guy for past 8 years, many times trying to get the truth from his wife, who was already becoming a sloot. She was often very upset about him questioning her. She kept saying, "What do you think I am, a slut? What do you think I'm doing with this guy? Having sex? I would never cheat on you. That was only a friend from work." And he said that he never believed her from that moment anyway. But moving on, now that they're in the UK, they're still trying to start a new life and forget about whatever happened back then. Said kept on moving, and then she ended up pregnant. She had a baby girl. They had a baby girl. They were happy in the beginning, but they started having very bad problems because he started having physical problems like back pains and so on and so forth, and it was affecting his life badly. His spine was fusing together. He was in inflammation constantly. He was just constantly in and out of chiropractic. You know what I mean? So he was struggling to work because he had a physically intensive job. He was struggling with all these things, and his wife had had enough of seeing him in pain. So now here we are getting to the UK. Here in the UK, she started to text a new guy from her new job in the UK. Some texts were about going to a hotel one day and saying how much she missed him. Again, they had a talk about this, and she told him it's just stupid how she talks to guys, and she felt sorry, and she said it will never happen again, that she doesn't know why she does this, but she actually loves him. And yeah, she actually loves him, and it doesn't mean anything that she promises. It's just flirting, and she'll stop. Yeah, Yakub, she's clearly cheating, exactly. But here we go. Here we go. It gets worse. So this guy, he goes on and talks a little bit about how he's a fool and blah, blah, blah. I will spare you guys that because I know what you guys are already thinking. Simp, right? Simp. Hold on. Remember, he's married. He's a foreigner in a new nation. They have a kid together. I know we think simp, but if he's in this situation, it's hard. So he did want to stop the marriage, but he felt bad, and because they have a little child, they didn't want to separate with a divorce. 5 weeks ago now, he discovered that she is texting with someone again, a new person, but this time she was deleting the messages more often, so he couldn't figure out what exactly she was up to. So now she's getting smarter. She's learning how to do this on her own and be more sneaky about it. He had a plan and told her that maybe they should try to meet someone new and then get a divorce because they argue a lot and they didn't know how long they could live that way. And really, what he was trying to do is see if she was doing something again, and he was right. 1 week later, he saw her full conversation with her new boss. He's a 60-year-old man. He's a married 60-year-old man with 2 children. They've been talking about a future together, trying to schedule some dates, dinners, booking hotels, overnight stays, and they've also been sexting and fantasizing about one another. He was emotional when he discovered it, now, like any man would be. So he beat her ass. I'm joking. I'm joking. That part wasn't in there. It was just, my imagination. But anyway, so he was very emotional about it. Of course, when he confronted her, she said that it was all him. He was the one pressuring her, and she was trying to get away from him, but because he's her boss, she didn't want to say no because she was scared of losing her job and so on and so forth. Bull crap, right? Literally. But here we go. They talk about what happened for days. This was a whole week-long fight that they were in already. And then he came back to that first guy, first guy that we were talking about.
Roboting. Just for the last little bit here. Yeah. Well, of course it does now that I come back up here.
You know what? I'm thinking that it just does it for a little bit and then it stops. Does it for a little bit and stops. So if you guys can bear with me, I hope you guys can bear with me with the roboting. If it does, just let me know what you guys missed.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. So they talked about it, right? She admitted that they were kissing a couple of times with the first guy. Now, just add, the first that she's talking to is married and trying to have kids. The second guy that she's talking to is married with 2 kids. The third guy is also married with 2 kids. Now, the third guy is her boss, 60-year-old man. He said the biggest problem and struggle for him is that he loved his wife and he is completely shuttered and broken. They're planning to have a divorce and planning to separate, blah, blah, blah. But, you guys know how men get milked in family courts. All right. So I'm going to make that one. That one was the tamest story that I found. That story was one of the more nicer stories. The next one I'm going to give you guys is about a woman who, when she found out that her husband had cancer, she went out and started going on dating sites. Even she went on a public. You guys remember when they had those public shows like Kendra Dating and Kendra Singles? Well, she was actually shown looking for a man on a popular dating show. So in front of the whole world, in front of this gentleman's family, she was trying to look for someone else. And when it was revealed that she was actually married and that her husband was going through cancer treatments, she had no shame. She said, "Oh, well, I'm still young. Why should I have to stop my life because he's going through cancer?" Now, mind you guys, he was going through cancer treatment. The man wasn't dying. He wasn't dying. In fact, he was in remission by the time that she was out there looking for men. He was in remission. He was fine. He was doing fine. And she was still out there trying to look for another man. And her excuse was, "Oh, well, I was doing that just in case he died. Just in case he died, I didn't want to be alone." All right. Now, there's another point about all of this that I want to tell you guys. When I see a lot of these stories, I'm going to give you guys some stories about women too, women finding men cheating, but I want to talk about men first because I think men are more important in this. And the reason I say that they're more important in this is because men, when a man divorces, he loses. Most men just lose and lose and lose. The reason why a lot of men don't want to get married anymore is because of divorce. That's why they don't want to get married anymore, is because of divorce. You give a woman the power to take everything that you worked for, everything that you've earned, and milk you for not just 18 years, not just for the years of the child or children that you brought into the world. No, until that bitch gets remarried. And if she doesn't get remarried, then you're on the hook for paying for yesterday's newspaper. Because that's what your exes are, isn't it? They're yesterday's newspaper. And who wants to read a newspaper with yesterday's date on it? You already know what's on that newspaper. You already seen the story. There's nothing new on that newspaper. So no man wants to have to pay future prices for yesterday's newspaper. And I can understand why a lot of men are refusing or saying that they don't want to get married anymore, but it hurts my soul that this is the way that it's going. And all because of the quality of women. It's not the men. But here we go. I'll give you guys, just to be fair, I'll give you one of a woman. She has a story of her husband cheating on her, and it was bad. All right, here we go. All right, so this is a gentleman named Ben. Ben, hold on. Okay, I pulled it up now. Okay, his wife was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. They moved her husband, and her daughter in their house. I think this is like her friend or something like that. This is a point of view of her friend. They said, my mom slept with her husband and got pregnant. Oh my gosh. Okay. So they moved her best friend and her husband and their kid in. And while they were living in house, her mother slept with her husband and got pregnant. So they put her in a nursing home to die all alone, just so that they wouldn't have to deal with the consequences of, her being around with a husband. They moved the mother hours and hours away as well, so that her daughter, who was only 10 at the time, would be unable to visit her. She died alone when she had stage 4 cancer. I'm sorry, guys. Goodness grief. It's quite a story. But anyway, after her friend's death, she shot off a new car with the life insurance money that she received because he made the girl's husband. Oh my gosh, this is a oh my goodness. People have no shame. People absolutely no shame. When we're so much into a story that
It's getting kind of bad.
go ahead. Oh my gosh. Ugh. All right, I'll just wait a little bit.
Okay.
Why is it so? Oh, Samael.
Yes.
I know why. Because we have a storm. There's a storm here. Oh, I'll be back.
Yeah, I could do it. Okay. Yeah, cheating's bad, in my opinion. Frankly, I think if you cheat on your wife, you don't deserve a wife. If you cheat on your husband, you don't deserve a husband. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's like one of the very few deal breakers I have for marriage. Part of why I'm not married anymore. So yeah, cheating's bad. Especially if you start like that story of hers when she was talking about her mother sleeping with her husband and getting knocked up, and like that's straight out of daytime soap opera. it's it's like some All My Children shit. But yeah, no, for my money, not that any of y'all care what I think on this, but for my money, if you cheat, you are defeating the purpose of a marriage in the first place. Period. Like, what is the point of committing to someone in theory for the rest of your life if you're going to sleep around on them? So yeah, in my opinion, it's never a thing that should happen. If you want to go bang somebody else, you want to go sleep around, you want to do something else with somebody else, end the fucking relationship first. Sorry, Mara, I didn't mean to swear like that, but end the relationship, bring it into it, or don't do it. That's all I really have to say on that, though. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think it's the correct opinion. And if people disagree, they're wrong, but it is my opinion. Here she comes.
Okay, I came down because maybe, just maybe, if I sit closer to the router, it will. So I forgot, guys. I'm sorry. We have a storm going on. It's a winter storm or autumn storm. What do I sound like, Samael?
Better.
No,
It sounds like you're using a different audio source, but it's clear.
it's clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So far, yeah.
Okay. Right. So here we are. We're back into this story, right? So these people are basically having a whole petri dish at this one house. Okay. The people moved in together because the woman had stage 4 lung cancer. All right. Just because of her moving in, everybody started banging one another. Just absolutely disgusting. All right. Now, when a person died, they got the insurance money. Now, here we go. She says, hold on, wait. You know what? This girl's story is kind of hard to explain because she kind of misses. mixes up everything. But at the end, basically, she's saying, this is why, oh, you guys know what? This is why I don't like stories written by women. Women don't know how to write a freaking story. Do you guys see when we were reading the man story, how it made sense and we could just read it easily? When it comes to women, when they write stories, they're like, oh, well, my biological mom was there, and, well, she's always wearing red in the weekends because she thinks that everything is so festive. And, ugh. All right, I'm moving on to a different story because she doesn't make sense. Oh, here we go. Here's another guy. One story, this man, he discovered that his wife was unfaithful after she died from cancer. He was clearing out their office and he found her diaries, her letters, and hotel keys detailing hundreds and hundreds of affairs with random men over their entire 30-year marriage. She was with hundreds of men during their 30-year marriage, and also that the children are not his. But she never disclosed that. He found that after she passed away when he was looking through her diaries. The proof that she had about all these affairs was that she had pictures and pictures of all the hotel keys from her having overnight stays and renting rooms for an hour just to have sex with other men, and the children are not his. But I believe that this man, even though the children weren't his, that he ended up still caring for the children like his own, because obviously it wasn't their fault that their mother was a whore. Here's another guy, another man. His wife of 17 years had been unfaithful with two different people. He discovered this after she started working longer and longer hours. Eventually, she blamed him for her affairs because he wasn't emotionally available. So she divorced him after he found out about her two affairs, and she divorced him and said that it was his fault and that she was mentally unstable and becoming a whore because of his emotional unavailability. Isn't that beautiful? Here we go. Here's another guy. These are all men, by the way. Another man describes a girlfriend. He wasn't married. A girlfriend who, after being cheated on, married her cheating boyfriend's father. She married her boyfriend's father just to get back at him. This made her ex-boyfriend's stepmother. And of course, that negatively impacted the boy's inheritance because now, instead of him inheriting everything, everything went to his new stepmother, aka his ex-girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Another wife, 7 years of marriage, and she was caught because she was acting suspiciously around New Year's. She returned home at 1:30 a.m. crying, and she insisted that she was only upset about missing the countdown. When her husband questioned her, she looked him in the eye and lied, saying that there was nothing else to tell. But in truth, I don't even want to say the last part. She said that she was upset because she missed the countdown, but in truth, she had just left his brother's house. So there's this last story that I'll give you is this one. This is a couple who had an open marriage, and that open marriage backfired as it normally does. The husband, who wanted to be with a coworker, suggested an open marriage because he figured at least I won't be cheating on my wife if I tell her that I want to bang my coworker. Well, the wife agreed to the open marriage and the coworker, and the wife began actively dating other men, while the husband, who thought he could bang his coworker, was unsuccessful in doing so. But because he had opened up the marriage, the wife was actually successful in having other affairs while he was not. He later regretted the arrangement and begged the wife to stop the open marriage because he wasn't having success, and that caused their divorce ultimately. This guy's ex-wife cheated on him while they were engaged. Now, they weren't even married yet, but this was back in the 1980s, so there was no internet, no cell phones. They were juniors in college. Okay, they were living together in an apartment off campus. She had a job, and her job was from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. each weekday night, closing down the center off of the dorm. She began having him work about half of her shifts. Now, back before they got married, the fiance told him that they weren't going to be having sex for 6 months before the wedding. They were both 21, and they had already been having sex since they were 16. Okay. Now, so she wasn't having sex with him, and she was having him work about half of her shifts at her job. So, because of that, she always knew where he would be and when he would be there. Okay. She told him that she wanted to make their sex more special, and I quote, more special in her words. So they said they would stop having sex for 6 months before they got married. So their wedding went great. It was great. Everyone showed up. Nothing went crazy. It was awesome. Then she told him no when he tried to initiate sex on their wedding night. She told him no. She didn't want it. Wow. He said, "Hey, I wasn't mad, okay? I was hurt. I was shocked. I was disappointed that my wife didn't want to have sex with me on our wedding night, but I wasn't mad. I didn't argue. I didn't make a fuss. She went to sleep in bed next to me, and I laid awake for about 90 minutes wondering, what the hell?" The next morning, he tried to initiate sex again, and she again denied him. This time, he talked to her, talked about not having sex for 6 months leading up to the marriage. And then on the wedding night, also it being a disappointment that she didn't want to, even though they had a perfect wedding. Uh, Finally, they did do it, okay? He was young and there was no internet for him to learn anything back then. He didn't know what was happening, but here we are. They did have sex, and it was, in his word, I'm just using his word, he said shitty. He said the sex was shitty. It was duty sex. It was just pity. Basically, she just let him do it because she was having pity on him, and that she laid there like a starfish. Now, oh my gosh. He says that, he finally realized that she had a lover, and apparently he had ended up finding videos of her and her lover doing the deed, because back then they didn't have cell phones, but they had certain recording devices, like I don't know, guys, I'm not that old. I don't really know all the things that they had back then, but he says that he found videotapes, whatever a tape is, I don't know. And he found tapes apparently of her and her lover getting it on. And he realized that she wasn't starfish when she was with her lover, but with him, she treated him like it was a duty. Now, he didn't find out about her cheating until they were actually married. So they ended up going through a divorce and catching her cheating even more before their divorce was finalized. All right. So here it is. My question to you all is this. After hearing all these stories, after hearing the stories that I gave to you all, do you all believe that cheating is a moral solution against divorce? Because, hear me out, it has been argued on other forums that the only way that marriages last is if cheating happens. If you're not allowed to cheat, then a marriage won't last. People have said that online on forums. They have argued that every marriage that you see, where you see people who have been together, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60, 70 years together, that probably both of them have cheated, maybe more than once in that marriage. And that is the only reason why they made it the distance. Back when divorces were unpopular, you guys know that women just kind of dealt with it. They kind of dealt with the fact that their husband would be with the secretary. They knew that the husband was doing other things, but as long as he came home at night and he didn't make a scandal, the marriages continued. And a lot of people say, well, that's when people were good and so on and so forth. But another common joke is how a lot of women use the pool boy. You know, I'm talking about how they have that joke of like the wife using the pool boy. So these jokes don't come out of nowhere. These jokes are making fun of real things. And the alternative that we have today is every time that a person cheats, marriages break apart, marriages fall apart. The divorce rates in this country are high. And I believe it's partially because of cheating. But now women and men refuse to accept cheating. They refuse, especially women. Women today are saying, oh no, if you cheat on me once, I'm divorcing you and I'm taking you for all you got. What is better? Is it better to have a situation where you have, like it was before, where everybody kind of knew that everybody was doing something, but marriages stayed together because they understood that the family mattered more than their little escapades? Maybe the two were unhappy for a couple of years, but eventually they got over it and they continued their marriages. Or should we do it the modern way? And if someone cheats on you, hey, divorce. You can get divorced 3, 4, 5, 10 times because someone cheated on you, and you don't want to deal with heartbreak. You don't want to deal with pain. You don't want to deal with feelings of inadequacy. So you could just say, hey, I'm taking my ball and going home. And the divorce rates will continue to climb. We will continue to see families separated. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up to you is we as humans have changed. We've changed with the internet and so on and so forth. There's even a theory that the internet is dead. Now, we could talk about that later, about the dead internet theory, but along with the internet, people have changed because Everything is right there in your hands. Things are too accessible, and hoes are too prevalent. It's actually in style to be a hoe. So why would we expect that men will control themselves when their options are everywhere? And not that I'm saying that men are dogs and they don't have discernment, but if a man wants something, or let's say he's having a bad day or he fights with his wife, and he's in a moment of vulnerability, it's out there, it's everywhere. It's too easy now. It's just too easy. So, what do you guys think should happen? Because we can't go back. I don't think that there's any way that we can actually go back other than nuclear fallout, famine, and so on and so forth. You guys understand. But other than things like that, we can't really force humans to go back and being able to control women the way things used to be. Women, they are, women have been emboldened. Women are emboldened today. You can't tell them what to do. They have no reason to be moral or clean, or they have no reason to, because they feel they don't get anything from it. And men, well, men, they don't want to risk losing everything to a whore. How embarrassing. And one thing that men don't like is to be embarrassed. How embarrassing to lose everything that you've worked for to a whore. So, I mean, it bothers me. Zealage says repeal the 19th. Even if we did, it wouldn't change. It wouldn't change the freedom that women have been given. Women have had a taste of something that even men never had a taste of. Okay? They think, oh, well, now we get power that men had. No, no. You women are getting more than what men ever had. They believe that men had this great privilege and this great honor because they could control the world and they controlled everything. But men were also responsible for the world. Men didn't just get the world handed to them, they built it. They're responsible for it. And if it falls, it's on them. Now, for women, it's not the same. Women didn't build this world, but they're getting it handed to them on a platter when they didn't earn it. And if it all falls, God forbid tomorrow, they won't be blamed. Men will be blamed. So, Suka says maybe 10% of men. Hell no. No, you have that upside down. It's 90% of men. Shadu says, women get the privilege of men and the responsibilities of women. No, 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 no. They get the responsibilities of children. Okay? They have the accountability of a child. Women today don't even complete their duties as a woman. As a woman, do you understand? And this is why I spoke to you guys in the beginning about my culture and the things that are expected of us. And I think I need to make a recorded video about this again, because I had a recorded video out before, but because my channel got lost, it's all gone. But I need to make that video again because it speaks a lot about the expectations that are expected of us, that Western women, if they had these expectations put on them, they would crumble. I mean, do you guys understand how beautiful women in the West have it? They don't, Nothing is expected of them. They're not expected to do absolutely shit. All they're expected to do is look somewhat decent. And even then, they can't even figure that one out. Because if you go outside and you see the people at Walmart, they can't figure that out either. I mean, women are worse than children because they never believe that they're wrong. Even if we do go back to the old days, the old ways of marriage, it will be too late. The trust is gone. Speaking of which, how is my second ex-wife doing? Women won't find a man because 50% of men will be talking to AI girlfriend simulations. Now, I have heard about that one. I've heard about that one. Yep. Women, woe ye women. 50% would nearly die if they had to hold standards. No, I mean, and listen, can I say something to you guys, and let's just be honest. In my country, you guys hear the stories that I just gave you about these women cheating and so on and so forth. In my country, if just half of those stories ever really happened in my country, do you guys know what would happen to those women? Do you guys know? No. You guys may be thinking, oh, they will get stoned or whatever. No. There is a whole process before the stoning happens, okay? There is a process of elimination before the stoning ever happens. Now, if you guys understood the amount of things that a woman would have to go through before she gets stoned from doing the things that I just showed you guys about, the cheating and the putting their men to work, and then there's a new story that just came out like yesterday. An Indian woman in Canada. Her husband is a truck driver. Okay? Her husband is a truck driver in Canada. This is an Indian couple. The husband, every time he goes out to go work and he goes to do long haul, she brings a gentleman over to her house. The gentleman was a black man. And the neighbors were taking videos of this black man who continued to come to her house, or they were living in an apartment complex. But anyway, the black man would continue to come into her apartment, right? Now, when this Indian woman fell pregnant, okay, the husband was ecstatic. He was happy. He was like, oh, yes, we're going to bring our first child into the family. It's going to be great. Check this out. This man is at the delivery room talking to his family and talking as she's giving birth in the background. He's talking and he's like, yes, it's almost there. She's in labor. The baby is coming out. Yes, I'm really excited. It was actually a boy. Now, as the baby's head is coming out, he's like, oh, he has hair, is kind of curly hair, kind of dark. Yeah, but he's almost coming. The baby came out black. The baby came out black, and the family was still on the phone. What happened? It was all over the news. The news came because I don't know what happened, but he was on the phone. When he was on the phone, the family, I guess, called the police. Then the whole family came over there because they were like, how in the hell did this happen that the baby came out black? Then the neighbors came out, and the neighbors came out with the videos of this black gentleman going into this woman's apartment every time her husband was out working. Because her husband did long haul driving, truck driving. You guys, so he's sitting there thinking that he's having his son being born. And no, it wasn't his son. It was some random black guy's son. Do you guys think that she got married to the black guy who she had the baby by? No. She ended up getting divorced, of course. And I don't know what, I guess her family protected her from the wrath of the other family, but they ended up getting a divorce, and now she's alone. And now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom. You let him hit it raw. Now you're a single mom. You guys remember that song? It's a song, but it's hilarious. But anyway, so yeah, now she's a single mom. And instead of money getting thrown at her, it's Pampers. Pampers. Sad. Sad. But now she's a single mom. What are you doing here, Suka? You didn't change your profile picture yet? Go. And now you are going to the naughty corner. Now you're going to the naughty corner. There you go. You thought I wouldn't catch you? I caught you. I caught you. Yes, the diaper song, Lippo. Oh my gosh, it is raining so hard outside. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm about to give you guys some news because Larry told me that he made a list for us this week. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it out. Oh my gosh, please don't hurt my eyes. Please don't hurt my eyes. Ah, it hurts. It burns. It hurts. Okay, here we go. Now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom. You let him hit it raw. Now you're a single mom. Oh. Anyway, I like that song. It has a great beat. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's talk about some news, shall we? Yes. You chose that path. Yeah. As a single man, how do you even find a decent woman in 2020? Now, there are ways, but you have to know people. You have to know people, Zero. It's not going to happen on your own. You cannot go out there, meet a girl at a club or at a whatever and get to know her and then she's going to be no. That's not how that's going to happen anymore. The only way a man in 2025 can actually get a woman and a decent woman, it has to be with a woman who is bound by some type of cultural rules, some type of, it could be religious if you're into that. She has to be bound by something. She has to be born and trained up into that. You have to find a woman and you have to go through her village, her group. She has to have shame built into her where she's ashamed of letting down her family, her father, her village, and so on and so forth. There has to be a circle around this marriage. You cannot go out there today on your own as a man, pick a woman out of a tree and get married to her without that ball and chain, because if you do, you risk her not having any type of shame, her willing to do whatever she wants to do whenever she wants to do it. You literally have to find a girl who has a father who understands that I will not take my daughter back. I will bring her back to her husband's home every time there's an issue, unless it gets into, something of the three things that I told you. But other than that, I will always bring my daughter back to your house. There has to be some type of established rule set. There has to be some type of arrangement. You can't just go out there and expect that a woman on her word is going to do what needs to be done in a marriage in 2025. You just can't. You can't. She has to be born into it. And if she isn't born into it, she won't follow it. No, it won't happen. Okay. Let's move on. All right, here we go. So, I'm sorry, guys, for moving it too much. Okay, a Palestinian refugee curses white people for celebrating Halloween. A Palestinian refugee. Can you believe it? What are you even doing here? Why are you even opening your mouth to criticize a Western holiday? Is anybody criticizing Palestinian holidays? No. So if you're going to be in a Western, okay, I'm sorry. I'm already getting mad. All right. A Palestinian refugee in Canada decided to let white people and the Western world at large have a piece of her mind after seeing Halloween decorations being put up in her neighborhood. She lives in Samar. Akhdor asked, I just want to ask, is this okay? Is this how the holidays look like? She said this on her social media before crashing out online. She continues and says, and I quote, fuck you, white people, and fuck you, Westerners. Is this fucking okay? What's the fun about it? What is civilized about it? What is holiday about? Fuck you all. Fuck white people. Fuck you all. Fuck you, white people. You guys get the point. I don't want to keep saying it. But she kept on saying the F word again and again. Predictably, Summer's comments earned the ire of Canadians who are now demanding that she be booted out of Canada since she has such a big problem with Canadian traditions, with one responder saying, and I quote, you don't have to love every tradition here, but openly cursing the very society that shelters your tale is contempt for the, or I'm sorry, that shelters you is contempt for the values that made that refugee possible. You have contempt for the very values that made your refugee life possible. Another responder said, and I quote, great, now she can go home then. Despite the pushback, Summer not only doubled down on her opinion, but she shared the responses that she received on Instagram to sympathy points, or to get sympathy points, rather. Summer often attends anti-Israeli rallies in Canada, and and was one of 3 charged with criminal harassment for allegedly targeting politician Mark Miller outside of his campaign office last year. So she is an activist, as they like to call themselves, an activist. She's an activist thinking that she's doing the work of what? The left. So yeah, she is one of the left's hound dogs. And you guys do know that this pisses me off to no end to see that they use race, they use, anybody who's like non-white, they use people with religion. And the thing is, what does Summer think that she's doing? Does she really think that she's fighting for the values that her these people, I mean, look, I have no sympathy. Look, whatever happens, happens. That's all I'm saying. Trump administration says that the Clintons stole White House furniture. Now, Democrats have been melting down all week, as you guys know, over President Trump's decision to build a ballroom, a beautiful, beautiful ballroom, the best ballroom. It's one of the best ballrooms. You've never seen anything like it, right? They're melting down because of President Trump's decision to build a beautiful ballroom in the White House. And they have been using their rage to manipulate gullible Democrat voters. Among those outraged Democrats attempting to rally Americans against the president is none other than our favorite suit-wearing little gnome. I want to say she looks like a gnome. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, of all people. She posted on X, and I quote, "It is not his house. It's your house, and he is destroying it." She said that on X. Now, my thing is, isn't she the same woman who said, "Oh, I keep hot sauce in my bag," to try to pander to the black community? You guys remember that? How she said, "Oh, y'all, I'm here for y'all." But they don't call her a black facer or a panderer or a person who's being fake. No, 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 no. But anyway, now she's saying that the White House is not President Trump's house, even though he sleeps there every night. It's your house. And President Trump is ruining your house. The Clintons' gaslighting attempt was quickly met with a rehash of vintage 2001 Clinton news by conservatives. Now, this is when both Bill and Hillary made the news. They had taken household items that were legally White House property when they left. When they were in the White House, they took White House property for themselves, but they later returned about $28,000 in furniture donated to the White House and paid $86,000 to the federal government for gifts that they received in 2001. Of course, the Clintons denied any wrongdoing and summed up the situation as a cataloging error. It was just cataloging, somebody wrote the wrong name on the wrong box. That's all. When we had the boxes, when we were moving out, well, somebody just wrote the wrong thing on the box. Yeah, it was a cataloging error, And seemingly, they blamed the error on the White House usher and curator's office by saying nothing was removed without their approval. So basically saying anything that was removed and said to be stolen was actually done because the curator let it happen. So it's not really on our watch, it's actually their fault. Now, among the comments that touched Hillary was Texas Senator Ted Cruz's comment, who said, and I quote, "At least he didn't steal the silverware." Now, conservative YouTuber Benny Johnson added that the ballroom is being paid for out of President Trump's own pocket and not taxpayer funds. After reminding Hillary that your husband, girl, defiled the Oval Office by having a staff member on her knees, yeah, I let's just say Air Force One was being taken care of by a person other than the First Lady, okay? He had a staff member taking care of Air Force One in the Oval Office. And my thing is this. How can you talk about furniture ever when you are the one who ruined the furniture in the White House with bodily fluids? The nerve. But I guess Hillary has a short memory span, maybe. Maybe she just doesn't remember things. I don't know. Moving on. A federal judge orders ICE commander to appear in court for violating a court order. Now, you guys know that the whole country, well, the whole Democrat side of the country, which is getting smaller and smaller by the day, the whole Democrat side of the country is out for blood from ICE. They just want to do anything that they can to ICE. ICE agents, ICE operations, anything that has to do with ICE. I mean, yeah. So Chicago Federal Court Judge, Sarah Ellis, is it Ellis or Ellis? Ellis. Ellis, there it is, Sarah Ellis. Her name is Sarah Ellis, and she has ordered Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino to appear in her courtroom next week, after Bovino was filmed tossing a tear gas grenade towards protesters. I wish I saw that video. I need to see that video. I've got to see that video. Okay, Bovino was filmed tossing a tear gas grenade towards protesters. He is being accused of violating a temporary restraining order aimed at limiting what actions federal agents can take to suppress protesters or or prevent media coverage of immigration enforcement operations. So she's saying, we need to talk to you about what you're allowed to do to protesters or the immigration enforcement operations media coverage. See, you can't throw tear gas at protesters, even if they're standing in your way and they're fat and they're smelly, and you know how Democrats are. You can't throw tear gas at their faces. You can't do that. You see, one of the tear gas cans that you threw hit a protester right here in the nose, and now he has two black eyes because of it. See, you can't do that, Mr. Bovino, and you're going to be in trouble, okay? The accusations against Bovino came from the group of clergy, protesters, and journalists that sued the Trump administration to obtain the TRO. Bovino can clearly be seen on video tossing the tear gas grenade towards protesters, but that same video also shows federal agents asking the protesters again and again to back away as the protesters kept on closing in on them. And the words tear gas can be heard before Bovino tossed the grenade, which the agents are required to do in accordance with the TRO, which prohibits the use of what's it called, noxious gas and various less lethal weapons and ammunition, unless there is an immediate safety threat. You guys understand, unless there is like a need for something more severe, the less lethal option, I mean, they have the freedom to do that. That's what they're there for. I mean, that's what rubber bullets are for. That's what the tear gas is for. That's what the sound, I don't know what they're called. They're like the sound thingies, like a sound bomb where it's like really loud and people run. That's what all that stuff is there for, you know? So we don't actually do what we want to do to them. You guys know. Okay. You guys know what we really want to do to them, but we're still trying to be civil here. And I don't know why the hell we're still being civil when those people aren't. I don't understand why we have to continue to be civil when they aren't, because the world was fair. But anyway, I won't go into it, because somebody said that last time that I started talking about it, that I was being a little bit too too gory. So I'll tone it down. The Department of Justice has warned California Democrats to back off. And what are they asking them to back off of? Well, the California Democrats were threatening federal officers yet again. The Democrat leadership has been in a serious spiral downward due to infighting with their socialist communist wing. You guys know a good commie is a dead commie. We all know that. I don't understand why we're acting like we don't know these things, but anyway, good commie is a dead commie. Now, because of the socialist communist wing of the Democrat Party, they are dealing with a serious downward spiral and repeated legal victories by the Trump administration, especially when it comes to immigration. Now, some California Democrats have resorted to threatening the arrest of ICE agents for simply performing their duties as they should. I mean, you're basically trying to put people in trouble for doing their effing job. Really? I mean, here's the thing. These communist Democrats are basically going to three-letter agencies and the courts and basically saying, you know what? Well, actually, I want to get them in trouble because they actually took my friends Julio, Mario, Fernando, and Jose. They took them because they were illegal, and they put them on a plane and sent them back to their country. Like, this is so wrong. Not understanding that that's their effing job. That means that the person deserves a raise. They're actually doing their job and doing it efficiently. So you're trying to get people killed, arrested, persecuted in any type of form because they're doing their darn job. How does that work? But anyway, they're losing and they're losing every day. And it feels so damn good. It really feels good. Because how do you lose every single day? Like, you literally wake up in the morning, your alarm goes off, and you're like, how in the hell can I lose today? And you just keep losing and losing and losing again. And it's like you're not understanding that you are in the wrong. I mean, you would think that when you lose so much that you would start to understand that you're in the wrong. But anyway, the California Democrats are now threatening the arrest of ICE agents for performing their duties as they should. And in response, U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has sent a letter to Pelosi, Newsom, State Attorney General Rob Bonta, and San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jennings, warning them that their threats are illegal and futile. Thank you. Thank you. Like, look, you said it better than I did. I mean, I could have said illegal and futile. Of course, I said retarded and dumb as F. But I mean, look, illegal and futile and retarded and dumb as F are basically the same thing. You guys understood what it meant. I mean, they said it in professional words. Thank you. But yes, they are illegal and futile. And in this letter, he ordered that California leaders preserve all written and electronic communications aimed at interfering with the legal duties of federal agents. Because why? Here it is. If you continue to do this, this is what they call abusive litigation. Do you guys know what abusive litigation is? Abusive litigation is when you constantly try to take someone to court, or you try to get someone in trouble for things that are futile, things that have been already told to you that they're not wrong. They're not wrong. So if you continue to do this, you can actually take someone back to court for abusive litigation against you. You can do that. That is a real thing. So anyway, they're telling all of the California leaders to preserve all written and electronic communications. Keep it, because they are not allowed to interfere with the legal duties of federal agents again and again and again. Pelosi and Representative Kevin Mullen had issued a statement threatening to arrest ICE agents if they violate California law, which likely includes any immigration enforcement they take, since California is, after all, a sanctuary state. If you are a sanctuary state, you should get no federal funding. You shouldn't, because you are going against our nation's laws as a whole. So why would you ever get any type of federal funding? Your state should go bankrupt. I don't understand. Why are we funding? Pelosi's office has not responded to comment requests from news outlets about all of this. And of course she won't. Of course she won't, because she wants to hold face. She wants to save face, her and Newsom. They try to save face in front of their Democrat cult followers. I mean, the only way that they can try to look like they're, I guess I could say like they're winning or like they're sane or like they're actually doing something, is to ignore when letters are sent to them and so on and so forth. And of course, when news outlets actually try to talk to them about these things, all they do is talk about Trump. They're like, hey, Nancy Pelosi, why are you so bad at your job? Why hasn't your nephew, Gavin Newsom, not been taken out of his seat yet when obviously he doesn't deserve to be there? Nancy Pelosi, why do you always cover your neck around certain times of the year? Is it because your adrenochrome is messing up? Nancy Pelosi, can you answer any of these questions? Nancy Pelosi, why do you look like the crypt keeper when your adrenochrome is not available? Nancy, hello. And what does she do? She goes, Trump is the reason why we are suffering. And then she pieces out of the damn camera. Like, and then she gets away with it. She gets away with that. All she does is go like, oh, well, Trump is the reason why we're all suffering. And pieces out. And then we're like, dude, and this continues for another decade. How is she even still alive? Oh my god. Oh my god, I hope the trees aren't falling. Oh my god, I just heard something. The storm is really bad outside, guys. I don't know. I'm surprised that the lights are still on. But anyway. Amira for news reporter. Stop. I would be awful. I would be awful. I would be fired the first day. Oh my gosh. All right then, guys. Well, I guess I'll let you go. That was it. That's all I had for no, wait. Shut up. How dare you come here with your Republican talking points? Nancy Pelosi, why was there dog poo-poo in your driveway this morning? Nancy Pelosi, why are you such a loser? Why does your husband hate you? Nancy, are you going to answer these questions or no? Are you going to answer or no? Oh my gosh, I'm horrible. All right then, guys. I'll let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me. And Trump has threatened an insurrection act against sanctuary cities. So if they want to see a real insurrection, well then, here we go. Democrats are fighting a losing battle. But the thing is, what are you fighting for? Have they actually sat back and thought, what is really our aim here? What do we think that we're going to achieve? Huh? That we're just going to live in a lawless society? That we're just going to I think there might be a revival of the House Un-American Activities Commission. All right then. I will let you all go now. I will see you. No ghost today? Yeah, thank God. No, you guys don't care about me, do you? You guys just care about having your entertainment value. But you guys don't think about how that affects me in my real life, being haunted by this ghost. Like, do you guys not care about me at all? I swear you guys don't care about me. You guys really don't. You guys just care about like, oh, are we going to see her get attacked by the ghost today? Oh, that'd be great. Hopefully he throws the thing at her head next time. Yeah, just because he missed that one time and hitting my head, it was close enough. All right, then. Good night, everybody. I will let you guys go. And it's not funny. All right, good night, everybody. You said he's a nice ghost. He is, but apparently you guys want to see something happen to me. You guys just want to see me get yanked up by my hair. Oh, by the way, speaking of hair, did you guys notice I cut my hair? Oh my God. Did you guys not see it? This is the shortest that my hair has ever been in my whole entire life. And I'm kind of digging it. I think I look all right. I think I look all right. I did it myself, actually. I did it in my bathroom. I just went to my bathroom and went shh, with a real pair of shears. I didn't cut my hair with like kitchen scissors. I actually have a real pair of hair cutting shears made out of titanium. So they're really good. call him Dwayne. No, no, no. If I have a ghost, I'm not gonna call him Dwayne. Okay? What the heck is wrong with you guys? What do you mean no? Listen, why are you here? Wait, let's get you back in the naughty corner. Where? Give me this thing. Let's get you back in the naughty corner. Where? How did you even get back in here? Go look at the wall again. Now. Okay, then, guys. Have a great rest of your night. I'm gonna go try to hide from the storm, and I won't be able to hunt tonight because I don't want to get a tree landed on top of my head while I hunt. So, good night, everybody. And with that, I yield my time.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.